You said you were excited when Disney purchased Lucasfilm. Now, as soon as you saw what they did to the EU, you were done. So don't sit there and tell me that you weren't excited for the future of Star Wars. You were still in a place of positivity.
No,
and Darth Maul had already been brought back.
We're talking about Darth Maul, you dumb cocksucker.
Right now, Darth Maul was already brought back, and you were excited for Star Wars.
Yes, I was excited for Star Wars because I thought we'd get to see some more actual.
Okay, then the universe wasn't destroyed for you.
That is the dumbest fucking.
I am telling you that the universe gets destroyed.
That you do when you have absolutely no fucking leg to stand on.
The point was with Star Wars, you yourself were still excited after Darth Maul was back, so it clearly didn't break the universe for you.
No, bringing back Darth Maul did not in and of itself break the universe, but it is a problem, and it causes damage to the universe, and now gives you an out whenever things like this happen for them to look back and say, you can't get upset about Sabine surviving a lightsaber wound. Darth Maul was bisected and he was fine.
That's from a Disney Star Wars fan. You're giving them credibility in their argument. Their arguments are terrible.
I'm saying that when you
There's
do
no
things
real
like
Star
that
Wars fan making that as an argument.
You give people that out.
There's no real Star Wars fan arguing that Sabine surviving is okay.
No, Star Wars fans are arguing over Darth Maul being bisexual. That's what they're fighting about.
That's what I was saying the whole time. Feels like no one's listening.
Nerdrotic.com.
Star Wars is saved, ladies and gentlemen. It finally happened.
Saved again.
This time.
We're back.
It's saved.
Yeah.
Was there a little bit of a lesbian undertone between Ahsoka and Sabine, or was I just willing that to happen?
Well, there was only women in the show, so yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
It has to be.
And it's Disney Star Wars.
Personally, what I think, with all of Ahsoka, it seems like there's big gaps where Dave Filoni just felt like his writing was just so fucking incredible that people would connect with these characters that he needed to give it so much room for people to have emotional reactions to it. But since that's not actually there because it's not any good, you're left to kind of fill the void with whatever your thoughts. So you're like, why the fuck are they just sitting here staring at each other? On me? Well, they must have fucked or something. Like that's what's happening.
They have some unresolved issues from the Clam Wars.
Hey!
Mostly dead to me. Most of the characters not really interacting that well. Everyone pausing, everyone sort of drifting off into space. Boring seems to be the big takeaway everyone had for this.
Yeah. It's just so fucking dead. It's not made for men. It's not made for boys. It's not made for little girls. It's made for fucking middle-aged women by middle-aged women.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Sabine, just walk it off, sweetheart. Just walk it off. Just walk it off. Didn't even have a back to tank or anything to try and pretend.
I know.
There's a little scar.
The next day. I don't know how much time passed, but it felt like the next day she was up.
One day. It's fine.
The thing that bothers me about that premise is it's not a sword, right? If I stick a sword in you, it will take a significant amount of force for me to move it one way or the other and do more damage to you on the inside. A lightsaber, it's not. It's like cutting through you like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
So if you
But
fucking
the
move a little
plasma.
bit this way, that way, it doubles the size of that hole, triples the size.
She could have just, when she runs it in, all she had to do is just go,
and
it was just whoosh. Nobody's ever really gone.
Nobody
ever dies.
I want to know why Snoke wasn't just mad enough to stay alive.
I know.
He got fucking cut in half.
Yes.
Darth Maul me.
The problem with the show is like Dave Filoni was trying really hard to do the long drawn out setups, like the opening with Ahsoka where it's very Indiana Jones-esque. The opening of Indiana Jones, though, it takes a while to get going, but then after this kind of slow build, it explodes with the big ball, and he's got to run, and all of the traps get shot off, and then he's got to jump across the thing, and then he's running away from the indigenous people, all that stuff, right? That's what you have to do. But in this show, it never gets to that point. It never gets exciting. It just continues to sit and dwell. And how many scenes of Sabine do we have to have her go, I miss Ezra. Where's Space Aladdin?
This show was about Sabine, by the way.
I would be okay with that if she was in love with him. But the fact that Ezra
what is this?
In the holocron, you're my sister, is just like...
Maybe they just hooked up.
That's a retcon right there.
No. It's shut the fuck up. Listen, like
Big Rebels fan.
They never got together or anything, but Ezra was always like wanting that, and it never really happened. I think it's perfectly believable to think that now that he's gone and after he did all that, she like realizes the feelings like that she actually had. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think that's a retcon. You want to talk about retcons? There's plenty to talk about in this one. But
I feel like you need to watch the show.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of conveniently removed men okay? Because there are male characters that are still alive that just did not show up in these first 3 episodes, including Hera's kid. That was definitely strategic. They really wanted this to be female-centric in the beginning. If the dude's going to come in later, who knows? Yes, that's what happened in Rebels, but they really leaned into the Force as female because they're fulfilling Kathleen Kennedy's promise.
If they do bring Kanan back and Freddie Prinze Jr. plays him, that'll still be another female character added to the roster.
So where were we? Chrissy Mayer, hi.
Hello. It's great to be here. I watched the first 2 episodes of the Ahsoka show. I keep wanting to say Ashokin because it was the name of a Girl Scout camp that we went to in upstate New York as kids. The Force is female, but it was not a very good advertisement for female girl bosses because the scene where, Sabine steals the trinket of secrets, the ball of wonder.
The balls.
Okay. It's just her and her weird-looking cat. It's not a good advertisement for living alone with a cat. And
I like the cat.
The robot showed up.
Ezra's cat, isn't it? That's Ezra's. Isn't that meant to be Ezra's cat?
I gotta say, some of the choreography was some of the worst I've seen in Star Wars to this point. There was really bad stuff with those lightsaber fights.
Interpretive combat dance. That's what the chat called it.
It felt like there were moments where it didn't look too bad when they were doing quick shots and you couldn't really tell, but whenever it lingered for a little while, it was pretty rough. It looked very slow and ungainly. Overall, Ahsoka is bland, it's emotionless, it's passionless. There's little things that they do to try to be like, guys, this is Star Wars, like the blurry screen wipes and a bastardized version of the crawl.
That was
shots that are
tacky as fuck.
Yeah, that was
shots
bad.
that are direct ripoffs from other Star Wars movies. There's little stuff in there to make it seem like, hey, look, guys, we tried. This is Star Wars, but there is no actual feeling in it at all. I thought maybe it would be a little bit slow, but maybe they'd at least be introducing people that don't know who the fuck these characters are. But I think even by the end of 2 episodes, the people who didn't know who these characters are still have no idea who they are.
No idea.
So they didn't make any progression towards that. And it was basically just, hey, by the way, got another one of these map findy things to find somebody who's missing.
A map that was buried in a Jedi temple that has been there for thousands of years. Somehow tells you where a current guy is hiding.
I know, right?
It's
Space
stupid.
whales
That makes sense.
It's so fucking dumb.
I think this show should have started with essentially a live-action version of the end times of Rebels. I think we should have seen Kanan sacrificing himself. We should have seen Ahsoka fighting off Vader. And we should have been introduced to, obviously, Sabine, Ezra with Thrawn. Just kind of get first 20 minutes dedicated to that. Then you go 10 years later, however long it's been, because then at least you're giving the audience some sort of background on these characters, because you have to pretty much know the whole of the Clone Wars and all of Rebels at the very least. Never mind the couple of episodes that Ahsoka did in Mandalorian to catch up on exactly who these people are. Because I'm with Ryan. If I didn't know who these characters were, if I didn't watch Rebels, I would have no fucking clue what I was watching.
Clone Wars didn't get a ton of people watching it. It had a nice little, small audience that loved it. Rebels, even smaller audience. So you're pretending that everybody that's going to watch your top tier show assume they all know this thing that had a very small audience. It's retarded. And it just shows that these people involved with this process know nothing about what they're doing.
Don't you love how they're like pandering to the prequel fans now? And the very first line of dialogue from The Force Awakens was disrespectful to George Lucas and the prequel fans. This will begin to make things right. You think that was an accident? That was Jar Jar being cute,
Yep.
And now they're like, oh, we need you.
Statement.
I know.
Begin to make things very wrong.
Very, very wrong. Yeah. Now it's 10 years. They've had it for 10 effing years, and they do not know what the hell they're doing. It's been an utter disaster, and this franchise is dead. And as I said in the other live stream, it's like the corpse is gone to the mortician. They've embalmed it. They've painted it up to look nice for this open casket funeral, but it's still a fucking corpse.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Hey, if you like what we do here at Nerdrotic Daily, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.